Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yo, this is Meanland on the Jointz TV. I got time today. Shout out to all the current subscribers. Shout out to all the new subscribers. This is just super impromptu today. You know, whenever I feel like it's nothing else to watch on YouTube, or it's like some points, I try to watch everybody's video, y'all. And you might hear a little bit of noise in the background. That's my heater. I'm in California, but I'm in a part of California where it's kind of cold. And it's still 7 o'clock in the morning. The sun hasn't really come out yet. But maybe I'll just throw my hoodie on real quick so that we can get some really good sound quality today. This is the Jointz TV. I'm Mean. This is Meanland. This is my stream. This ain't the Mean and Nasty Show. This ain't the Jointz podcast. This ain't none of that other shit. This is Meanland. This is just, this is just all about Meanland. And this is me. I'm walking around. I was looking for something. I kind of forgot what I was. Oh, I said I was going to put my hoodie on. But at this moment, it's kind of warm. See, sometimes when you lose your train of thought, it's because the mission you was on already got solved. Like, why might you still be looking for a hoodie when it's kind of warm in here? But it will get cool again. So, yeah, I had to grab something real quick. So now I ain't got to keep moving around. As y'all know, with anything, you do it the first time, and then, every time you do it thereafter, it should get better and better and better. That's my phone. One of my phones resetting. I just took the update. And I think just life in general, sometimes around these moments, sometimes you have, revelations or new ways of thinking. A lot of times around my birthday time, I get to thinking, man, how can I progress in life and escape some of these ruts that I'm in? And also, I kind of start to feel this way around Christmas time and New Year's time. It'd be like, yeah, let me figure out the rest of my life while everybody else is, celebrating and partying and being passive. Let me see if I can figure some things out for me and, for everybody else. I don't share as much as I used to, but still share things that I think are important. And I'm gonna stop allowing the haters to keep me from sharing the things that I think are important. So I really came on here. I want to get some clips that I could chop up and work on during the day while I'm out hustling. What's this about here, yo? And I'm going to react to some things here. Whatever I find interesting, I'm going to find some short videos and make some reactions to them. All right, so I need my headphones. All right, y'all ready? If y'all are ready, we about to go ahead. So let's see what's going on in the world today. 50 Cent flames Dame Dash for selling his film company for $100. Man, Dame has been catching hell. Let me see. And in ways I can relate. You know, I rarely click on a story that I can't relate to in one way or the other. I either want to see the person is being dragged. Sometimes I'll be like, well, damn, I would have did that too. I wonder what they saying about him for making that decision. Or sometimes it's like everybody agrees with some shit somebody did, and I'll be like, well, damn, why y'all really want the world to be like that? I think like that a lot. Like a lot of people be like supporting the dumbest shit, and I'll be like, man, y'all really want the world to be like that? That's crazy. Why do y'all want the world to be like that? Insane. So all right, and then Chig Smooth. Shout out to shout out, big up to Chig Smooth. We're gonna check out this 7-minute video, and I'm gonna react to some of it.
In 2026.
Oh, let's
Somebody
run
that
it
at
back.
one
Hold up.
time
Let's get this intro.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Chicks.
Here we go,
You
y'all.
know what to do, chicks.
Salute to Chick Smooth.
Hey, Chick Smooth, appreciate all the coverage that you've been doing. I've been watching your shit for a while. I just subscribed to your shit too, bro.
Oh man, grand opening, grand closing for Dame Dash, you guys. This has been a horrible year for him. Actually, not just this year. Damn near this decade has been pretty terrible for Dame Dash. And unfortunately for Dame, it's not looking like it's going to get better in 2026. Somebody that at one time was supposed to be a mogul like Jay-Z, 50 Cent. Unfortunately, due to bad decisions by Dame and his ego, Dame is now in bankruptcy and he owes damn near $25 million in taxes. Now, back in early September, Dame actually filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Florida. He was facing $25.3 million in multiple court violations that included tax bills, child supports, and of course, court judgments. Dame told the court, hey, big dog, I ain't got it. All I got right now is only $100 in cash and about $4,200 in assets, which half of that was in jewelry. And then just last year, in an attempt to settle some of his debt, Dame put up his stake in Rockefeller, which was actually bought by the state of New York for about $1 million. Now, Dame was actually hoping that this would go for about 5-6 M's. You guys remember last year, there were talks of people like Drake possibly coming in to buy it, which unfortunately for Dame still did not cover his $8.7 million that he owed in back taxes to New York. Now, this month, Dame owed about $1 million.
Okay, so 25 million total. 9 of it was taxes he owed. And so he sold Rockefeller's, well, no, not Rockefeller. He sold his share, from my understanding, on the Reasonable Doubt album. Rockefeller as an entity was bought by Def Jam a long ass time ago. So he sold his third 33% interest in the Reasonable Doubt album. So before Rockefeller signed their major deal, they put out Reasonable Doubt independently. And Biggs, which is Maul of Rory and Maul's big brother, Dame Dash, and Jay-Z, they all own that album equally. So 33 and a third by each of them. So Dame's been going through his issues. Don't nobody want to help him. Dame always came off as somebody that you couldn't really empathize with. You know, me personally, I learned things from everybody, what to do and what not to do. And there's a lot of things that Dame Dash has done that you should definitely follow in those footsteps. And then there's some things where, yeah, uh, you shouldn't do that. And one thing you shouldn't do is kick everybody on the way up. Now, Dame will tell you he was fighting for his artists, and you know, to that account, I would say, yeah, sure, you were fighting for your artists, but how were you fighting for your artists? The lawyer is gonna fight for his client, but he's not gonna fight for his client to the point where he gets what they call it, unbarred, or dismissed or canceled or fired. Like, he's not gonna ruin his own career and reputation to fight for a client, even if the client is right. Now, ain't that the truth? So, Dame will tell you, hey, I was fighting for Jay. That's why everybody mad at me now, because I wasn't taking no shit off none of these CEOs or executives. I was fighting for my mans and for our company. Okay. But now what I learned is the same people that will fight with you will then fight against you. I learned that in my own life. And that's what's happening to Dame. Everybody who he helped on his come up is watching him fall. Even though they didn't do anything, Dame didn't do anything to them personally for them to have such a outlook, but they are now working with the same people that Dame fell out with. So even though Dame helped them on the way up, they're not going to help him on the way down. And beyond the entertainment scope, that happens in the lives of most black men who grow up or try to raise a family in the inner city, or try to, you know, do business ventures and help out the community. A lot of times, we are so unapologetic on the come up, you know, like, fuck the Klan, in the Klan. And when I say the Klan, I'm talking about more than just the Klan, but we trying to be YouTube safe this morning, but you hard on the thought on the way up, right? But on the way down, like everybody that should be acting as your safety net, they're gonna let you fall. That's why every man, well, I won't say every. A lot of black men wind up homeless and on the street and in jail or dead or fucked up because people that should have looked out for them on this certain instance didn't. And then and now this person ain't gonna help you either. This person ain't gonna help you either. Maybe it's the one thing you said, or maybe the one thing you did, but they're gonna watch you fall. It's a lot of intelligent black men that are fucked up or on the street or just voiceless, because of the people that should be holding them down or holding them up, are allowing them to fall. It seems like that's what's going on today. That's just a outsider's observation. Like, he helped a lot of people on the come up. A lot of people that he helped on the come up are not helping him while he's falling off. So now they're saying that the state of New York bought that 33 and a third share interest in that album for $1 million. And, one can take from that people don't want to be on the bad side of Jay-Z, because owning a third of that album is a really good investment. You got people like Drake who claim they bought, what did he say? He got Tupac's ring or some shit. He got Pharrell's jewelry or whatever, you know. And but a real investment obviously would be buying a third of the Rockefeller album. Supposedly Mace and Cam said they were gonna buy a third of the album. But I think one way or the other, either indirectly or directly, Jay-Z must have put the word out like it's gonna be a problem, whoever buys this interest in this album. He's trying to scare people like, oh no, it's not blah 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 blah. But the state of New York bought the album, and that can mean a few things, and I ain't gonna speak on right now. But they didn't think it was so much a bad investment. And Dame, for his part, ever since the Breakfast Club debacle where he told everybody be their own boss and use a sucker if you's a working man, he's been super humble the last few years, but it's not working. I guess, and I'm gonna have to get some background music here too, because my my tone is too boring for some people. For some people, it's perfect. Like I'm just talking to you, you know. But for some people, it's like get on with it. So, but anyway, let me take in a little more of this. So now they saying he sold his film company for $100. But now with these bids, man, you gotta set up the minimum bid. You gotta set the minimum bid at 10,000 or 100,000 or something like that, right? It can't be. You can't accept $100 because there was a lot of he had some movies, yo, that he made. I think he made a movie with Murder Mook, right? And then I don't know, man. It's like this is a weird time in this world, 2025. It's like people would rather destroy people than lift them up. Like everybody is enjoying watching Dame fall, and everybody's getting their little kicks in as well. And it's kind of crazy. It's disheartening, because I don't want to go down this road, and I know I've been gracious in that I haven't, tried to embarrass people or put out their bad business, but I just feel like I can relate to Dame in that people, if I don't stay on my P's, bro, people will watch me fall and a lot of them will enjoy it. A lot of people who I tried to hold up, will definitely be happy in me going down. Uh, uh, uh. Go ahead, chicks.
from a defamation lawsuit that he was supposed to pay off. So Dame put up his film company, Poppington LLC, and he was hoping to make a couple grand from the auction. You guys want to know how much the film company went for at the auction? A whopping $100, you guys. Oh, wait, what's that? My bad. Oh, okay. It was a little bit more, you guys. A whopping $100.50. That's right, you guys. And you guys want to know who went to the auction to go bid on it and actually won it? Mike Muntaser, you guys. A guy that Dame Dash lost 3 civil lawsuits to, and he owes damn near $1 million to him. And yes, this was definitely revenge and a get back to Dame Dash. Mike did an interview with the New York Post at the auction,
No,
and he told him yes.
Oh, no, that's fucked off. Damn. Damn. How is this man that was once so smart and like sharp allowing all these people to get off on him like this? So this dude that he supposedly owes $1 million to, oh my God, bought his whole film company for 100. Dame gotta be fuming, man. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Is this all because he went on Jay-Z? Is all of this because he went in on Jay-Z? Damn. I'm watching this. This is my first time watching this video. I'm in real time digesting this, and I need to get some more background on this while I'm doing this here. So go ahead. Let me hear some more, chigs.
This purchase was a jab at Dame Dash. He blames Dame Dash for dragging him through years of litigation instead of just sitting down like grown men and resolving their differences. Mike also said that Dame is a problem. He has an ego. I think he's just bitter, coming from where he was to where he is, and he just blames everybody else and doesn't look at himself in the mirror. Sounds familiar, you guys? Yeah, that's what a lot of people have been saying about Dame. After winning the auction for Dame's studio, this now means that Mike owns Dame's movies like Honor Up, Too Honorable, and also potentially the rights to state property and also state property too. Now, after everybody started to get word about Dame losing his film company, 50 Cent, one of his long-standing enemies, wasted absolutely no time to flame him. 50 said, damn, $1? He popped. They took his whole shit. When I first got on, he said the mill wasn't nothing.
Felt like, I had said something that he learned from, which was $1 million isn't any money.
The only person that pointed out that $1 million was no money was Damon Dash, and he has no money now.
This is a realistic look at what $1 million is to the first-time rapper. First of all, it's tax half. Yeah, that's $500,000 right then and there. Boom. So now you got $500,000 left.
He said, well, that ain't no money. Like, after you get you a watch, chain, and you look out for the homies.
You got to get your jury game up. So let's say you spend $100 on the low ball side. Now your homeboys think you got way more than you have, and you got to look out for everybody on your block. So put 50 to that. You got to keep your fresh together. So you're going to spend 50 on fresh. Your sneakers, you got to pop tags every single day. So put 50 on that. You have an overhead where you have to maintain all these things every month. So now you might have 20,000 in bills every single day. You know what I'm saying? And there it is. It's gone. There's no more money. It's a wrap. Your $1 million is nothing.
$1 million is a lot of money. How you gonna say it's no money? Like that? I just never forgot that because of how it felt.
If you guys remember, it was only earlier this year when Dame was actually trying to have a film off with 50. Dame told 50, let's go network for network. My shows versus your shows. Let's see who wins.
So somebody definitely sent me that cute 50 said about me not having no money. And because of that, I feel like now me and 50 should have a battle. And, no gangster shit. I'm 53 years old. That would be whack and corny for the culture. But he's in the television network business now. So if I was a rapper, I would be like, all right, I'm going to make a diss record. You make a diss record. Now, let's not do that. Let's do CEO war, right? You drop your television network today. You should be able to do that because you have power and you have the resources and, you get money. And because I'm broke, this should be easy work. I'm going to drop my network. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to drop a new original American new movie. So I also challenge you to drop an original movie. Do it today. You should have it on deck. You're a CEO. You should be prepared for this. But I guarantee you're not. So today, I'm dropping American New. You type in America, you type in NU, you check out my network, go check out, what's the name of his network again?
50 Cent Action.
Oh, hell no. You can check out 50 Cent Action, I'm promoting it. Go to 50 Cent Action, however you could go there. And go to America New, type in America, type in NU on any app store, download it, and tell me whose app is better. But I need you to show up for this battle, 50. You know what I'm saying? And also, I'm gonna drop a new movie, The Prince of Detroit, an American New original, and produced by us, and we put it in theaters, and now I'm putting it on my own streaming service, because I ain't got no money. And also, I'm gonna do a full interview, and I'm gonna put it on my network first, American New, and you'll be able to see that as well. And, again, let's just compare. Also, 50 was popping it, from what I heard, that, we had that $12 million to buy Rockefeller and BJ's boss. But where you at? It's still for sale. The prices are up, but, they pushed the auction back. The starting price was 1.2, now it's $3 million. If you got it, like you say it, buy it. I challenge you. So let's keep it. Television network, CEO, and watch the full interview on America New. Watch a new movie on America New and tell me whose network is better, 50 or America New.
Very, very unfortunate fall from grace if you're Dame Dash.
Okay. So I wonder what sign Damon Dash is. I've never been somebody to believe in the horoscopes necessarily, but I'm starting to study it a little bit, because sometimes I do think the way the planets align when you were born has something to do with the way you look at the world. I don't know if it has more influence than, your parents and your environment and, your neighborhood and your schools. Those probably have, but but there might be something about who you are at your core based on, you know, what you want to say, how the season you were born in or how the planets were aligned with. The season you were born in sounds probably more agreeable. The stars align kind of maybe sound like some unbelievable stuff, but being born in the winter, being born in the spring, being born in the summer, I think those are synonymous with, you know, how the stars were aligned when you were born. I only say that because I'm relating to Dame's never give up spirit. Like, let everybody else tell it. When Dame made that video challenging 50 Cent, he's all the way fucked up already. And he's still, like I said, he don't sound as cocky and arrogant as he did maybe a few years ago. But he's still trying to make things happen, even as everything's falling apart. I'm a Virgo, and I can relate to that. I've seen things fall apart a couple different times. I've had to pull myself all the way back up. And, you know, sometimes to a fault, you'll sit there trying to get something to work, like a badass relationship. Okay, so now let's talk. And we gonna get back to this, chicks. But yo, a bad relationship. Have any of y'all had a badass relationship and just kept trying to make it work, even though it's bad and it's failing and it's causing you pain, it's causing you destruction, but you keep working at it, thinking, oh, if only I do this, if only they could see. That's, based on what everybody else is saying, that's kind of how I just felt about that video that I just heard Dame do, challenging 50. And his girl was real quick to be like, 50 Cent action? He said, hold up. And then he came back on and finished the video. He's having some issues, man. And, damn. I always look at things from both sides. Like, I know Dame feel like, man, these people are foul as fuck. All these people I helped on the way up, ain't none of them gonna step up for me because of this or that, or because of this one dude who he ain't even really move. I mean, man, damn. I really feel for Dame in this situation. Um, again, because I'm also somebody who has been unapologetically about holding up my people and defending my people and repping my people. And a lot of them people I ain't talked to in years. Some of them niggas carrying on like I never existed. Damn, man. Go ahead, Chiggs.
A lot of people have actually tried to help him, but he just seems to get in his own way. From what it looks like, his pride and ego has become his downfall. Now, with that being said, you guys, there are some people out there that still saying, nah, chicks, Dame still got bread. He's only filing for bankruptcy just to protect his assets. He just has to pretend he's broke to the court, Chigs. Listen, you guys, all I'm gonna say is, for Dame's sake, I'm hoping he's got a couple M's in the tuck somewhere. Because all this news that's coming out about him every single year does not look like somebody that's in a great financial situation. You guys get in the comments below. What do you guys make of Dame's film company Poppington LLC only selling for about $100? And what do you guys make of 50's reaction to this?
Yeah, okay. So, what do I think, huh? I think there's nothing worse than being broke and famous. I'd rather be rich and unknown than broke and famous. Now, all of y'all done seen my face already, fortunately or unfortunately. But, you know, as far as I'm concerned, from this point on, besides the gigs I do where I have to show my face, rich or broke, I'd rather just be low key, out the way. You know, I'm kind of interested in this. I want to do kind of a deeper dive into this and see what's going on here. I wish I had some background music because this actually about to get good. I wonder, huh? Let me try something, y'all. Again, we doing this in real time. I want to see if I can pull up something. I should have like hopefully nothing embarrassing pops up on the screen. What is it? Is it Windows Media Player? I want to see if I can just get some background music. Let's turn this into a little something because I feel like we about to break this all the way down, and maybe I'll edit out this little piece right here while I'm getting it together. But once I get it together, watch out there now. Let me see. Windows Media Player is what I'm looking for. I think that's, I mean, I have some other fancier equipment on here, but I think this might be an easy way to get a background track going while I'm talking, because we about to rap for real. I'm about to look all the way into this. I have a proprietary AI researching tool. It's called Mensa. And what Mensa can do for me is look up things in my tone and from my point of view and break it down for y'all. So what I gotta do here, I don't want to give up too many of my secrets here, y'all. But let me see. Okay, search. Let's see if I could just find maybe a mean instrumental. Is there any mean music? I know I got a lock on that, huh? Let me see. I want to just see if I got an instrumental. Most of these are songs. This is an instrumental. Oh no, that's a remix. Don't call it rap. I'm about to see if I can find an instrumental of mine, and then I can get to spitting here. Cause I feel like I got some things I want to say. Yeah. Maybe this ain't the thing I should be doing.
Come and get your girl, man. You need to come stop her. She getting improper. You playing along, so I really can't knock vodka, trying to wife, she just wanna be a pop. I'ma get your girl, man. You coming up a little bit lame in the game. You can keep on paying.
Maybe that's not the best one. Or, okay, I know what I can do. I can go, well, let me pull this over here because I know y'all gonna see something. See? No, there's gonna be something on there I don't want y'all to see. Alright, so pull this over here so I can check. I just want to get a little instrumental popping so we can talk. This is how we do it. We look for it over here and then drop it in the background. Yeah, we just gonna do this kind of not bootleg, but just kind of bootleg today. What's this? Oh no. Definitely about to get that off the screen. Woo! Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Give me this one for right now. Okay. Okay, something like. Yo, shout out to everybody listening, yo. Hold up. I'll start to feel myself a little bit. Hold on, yo. Repeat. 1. There you go. Okay, let's do that. Keep that there for a minute. Keep it right there. Keep it right there. Keep it right there. Okay. We back. Now, real quick, let me check my levels. I'll be right back. Prepared to do this damn stream. A little bit more because I just want to talk to you. I don't want to get too. I don't want to have to yell right now. You feel me? Okay. So yo, this story interests me in many ways because I can relate to Dame Dash. Dame Dash has always been somebody, you know, I've always paid attention to music CEOs. These people have been mentors to me without knowing them personally. Puffy was a mentor to me. Jay-Z was a mentor to me. Dame Dash was a mentor to me. Master P was a mentor to me. Slim and Baby were mentors to me. RZA was a mentor to me. Eazy-E was a mentor to me. There's been more. And so I've studied these guys. I've studied all the moves they made. I've studied good, the bad, and the ugly. So I just asked Menza to give me kind of what I'm looking for here in terms of this story. And we're gonna do some follow-up, Chigs. We're gonna do some follow-up on your work here and break this down to a level where people should understand this. So, according to Menza, the the trajectory of Dame Dash represents one of the most volatile and instructive arcs in the history of the American entertainment industry. Once the co-architect of a dynasty that defined the aesthetics, sound, and business model of hip-hop for a decade, Dash now stands as a cautionary figure in the annals of celebrity finance. Now, this report is going to provide a forensic accounting of his ascent as the flamboyant ID of Rockefeller Records and his subsequent slow motion descent into insolvency. Now, as of 2025, Dash's financial reality is stark. A declared debt load exceeding $25 million. A personal asset valuation of less than $5,000. And a humiliating public auction of his crowning achievement, his 1/3 stake in Rockefeller Incorporated, to the state of New York for a fraction of its perceived value. Now, crucially, I'm also going to analyze the human dimension of his collapse, examining the silence and strategic distancing of the titans he once championed, Jay-Z, Kevin Hart, Kanye West, and others. The narrative that emerges is not merely one of bad accounting, but of a fundamental clash between Dash's rigid, street-derived code of honor and boss status against the fluid corporate realities of the entertainment industrial complex. Dash's current predicament is a result of a 20-year war of attrition against the very industry he helped build. A war he fought with a philosophy that prioritized ego over equity and confrontation over compromise. Yo, let that soak for a minute, yo. That's super deep, honestly, when you think about it. Now, I want to give you some different music, because I'm about to turn up. So let me see what else we got here. Yeah, let's talk about the come up, yo. I'm about to get it in. So this is the rise of Rockefeller, or we can call this the architect of excess. Now, to understand the magnitude of Dash's fall, one must first qualify the height of his summit. Yeah, that's right. We about to go all the way. Founded in 1994 by Dash, Sean, Jay-Z Carter, and Kareem Biggs Burke, Rockefeller Records was not initially a music label. It was a desperate independent gamble born from rejection. Major labels had passed on Jay-Z, failing to see the commercial viability of his rapid-fire, hustler-centric lyricism. Now, Dash provided the kinetic energy to Jay-Z's stoic brilliance, while Jay-Z crafted the product, Reasonable Doubt. Wow, man. That's ill. So Dash crafted the perception. He understood, arguably better than any executive his era, that hip-hop was shifting from a musical genre to a lifestyle brand. He did not just sell records, he sold the dream of the rock. This involved a 360-degree monetization strategy long before the term became industry standard. Now that's another pause moment, honestly. And not pause in the way these fools be talking, but pause in terms of take that in. I guess that should be a pause. But um now my 2026, one of my 2026 resolutions is going to be to speak in a way where you can't pause me. I'm going to speak clear cuz I just, I be telling dudes like, "Hey man, keep your gay thoughts to yourself. Stop pausing me while I'm talking, man." I you know, keep your gay thoughts to yourself. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but keep your gay thoughts to yourself because we're not having a gay conversation, man. So don't pause me when I'm talking. But my one of my resolutions is going to be to speak in a way where you can't pause me. What I'm going to say is going to be so clear that it won't allow your mind to wander into gay thoughts. Okay. But this is absolutely something to ponder on because Menza just suggested that Dame Dash actually created the 360 deal. And that maybe Leor's, maybe, ooh, yo, honestly, that was a gem that Menza just dropped. Cause let's rewrite the narrative like Dame Dash created the 360 deal and Leor studied Rockefeller and Dame Dash, which he did, and invented the 360 deal based on the Rockefeller model. And niggas that steal from you always don't never want to give you credit and always hate on you and always want to see you fall. I know that. Niggas that stole my ad libs, acting like it's theirs, and really it wasn't even my ad lib. Like I'm over somebody's house, and I'll just be like, oh, and then all of a sudden some nigga I know is saying that in all his records like it's his ad lib. He wasn't saying that shit before. Or I'll be over some nigga house, we watching some shit, or somebody say something, and I'll be like, sheesh. And all of a sudden, some nigga be saying sheesh in all his records, wasn't saying that shit before. Man, I'm used to niggas just stealing my ideas, stealing my mannerisms, stealing my very being, stealing my events, and just acting like they're theirs. I'm used to that. And so Menza just hit me with one that I never thought of. Perhaps Damon Dash invented the 360 deal. Leor's being demonized about it. And Leor, there's probably some things that Leor could be demonized about, but maybe the 360 deal ain't one of them. Maybe he developed that. And people develop your ideas and turn them evil. And so, maybe he can still get demonized for that. I don't know. I don't know Leor. I don't know Dame either. But that's interesting. And that maybe Dame Dash is actually the father of the 360 deal. Wow. That really just got me to thinking. Let me bring some more music up here. Do I have anything that's kind of long? I know there's this one joint. There's this one song. There's this one beat I made that y'all are gonna absolutely be on my dick about. So maybe I'm gonna go ahead and let me rap over this beat real quick if I can find it. Yo, y'all are watching or not watching Meanland. This is Mean. This is just an impromptu stream. Menza told me I got some time tonight before I gotta go out and hustle. And so I'm gonna try to take some time and put some work in here. Hopefully I have some clip worthy clips out of this little stream I'm about to do. And this really is just the straighten it out stream. If y'all were here earlier, y'all would have heard that I had all type of sound effects and technical difficulties and some stuff going on that I had to figure out. And I'm still not working with my ideal setup at the moment, but one of these YouTubers suggested I just stop waiting until it's all the way perfect and just go ahead and get at it. Now, the YouTuber who gave me this advice is not somebody I know. I'm telling you, I pick up things from everybody. Um, I think the last person I heard this from was Nina Boy, and I'm gonna shout out these guys, but just listen, y'all. I don't agree 100% with nobody. Okay, so if I shout out Nina Boy and then I play a video of his and I'm disagreeing with everything he's saying, listen, man, I am a grown ass man. I'm not somebody who has to, oh, I'm a Democrat, so I gotta feel this way, or I'm a Republican, so I gotta feel this way. Nah, I'm not that. That's something I'm definitely not. Most people will tell you that. I fell out with pretty much my whole Facebook constituency because I'm like, yo, why are all y'all thinking like a monolith, knowing that y'all are voting against your own virtues and ambitions? And I never said vote for the other side. I'm just like, y'all should be expecting more out of your politicians and these people that you call your leaders. I'm looking for this long ass beat that I had, so I ain't gotta keep resetting this machine. So I'm talking in the interim. I'm telling you, y'all, this is one of them just impromptu streams. I'm gonna try to watch a whole bunch of videos I've never seen, unless I get inspired during the stream to go to somebody's video that I watched already just to show y'all something. But I got a lot of these 2-minute videos, but I know there's this one. I there's one 8 or 9 minute song that I worked on that I have the ability to stream without ramification. And if I can find it, I'll play it because it might be a little cool little instrumental to do these type of videos with. So once I find it, I'm gonna drop it. And I'm just trying. You may or may not know, but I make music and I got a million tracks. So I'm trying to. Oh, maybe it's around here somewhere. Where? Give me a minute. I'm trying to find it. I'm almost there. And then some of these tracks, I forgot. I don't know if you're somebody that makes songs. Many times you're not the best at organization. Now I'm a Virgo, and so once my Virgo kicks in, I'll take a mess and organize it into something beautiful. But in the heat of the moment, that shit be a mess. And I only say that to say sometimes, well, I most of the time, I don't title these things in a way where I can remember what it was, unless oh now I'm working on it. Now I'm dropping vocals to it. Oh now I'm dropping other instruments to it. Okay, now I know what the song is called or what the beat is called. But if you're somebody who makes a lot of music and a lot of beats, sometimes you don't remember what that shit was called. The shit might be called HJGKGKGKG. You might just, or me, I'll just tap some shit on the keyboard real quick just so I can save the shit. Save as, man, what? And it should be like HHHHTTT222555. And you know, that's real shit. I don't know. I don't think you're supposed to cuss on here nowadays. Again, this is gonna get better as it goes, y'all. Oh, this is my song. Now, oh, this is my song. Let's talk about the come up. The synergy between Dash and Jay-Z was, for a time, perfect. Jay-Z was the calm censor, the artist who spoke in whispers and triple entendres. Dash was the loud hailer, the aggressive enforcer, who ensured those whispers were heard in boardrooms that would otherwise ignore them. He operated with a philosophy that required absolute dominance in every room he entered. This dynamic was essential in the early days when Def Jam eventually brought Rockefeller into the fold. It was Dash's relentless negotiation, often characterized by shouting matches and intimidation tactics, that secured them unprecedented autonomy. Dash's genius lay in his ability to see revenue streams where others saw marketing expenses. He built an ecosystem designed to capture every dollar generated by the culture they were creating. Now, looking at the ecosystem. First, you got Rockefeller Records, and its role in the ecosystem was the engine. It produced the music that drove the brand. And as far as the outcome or legacy of Rockefeller Records, it was sold to Def Jam. It launched the careers of Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Cameron. Well, it didn't launch the career of Cameron, but it solidified the career of Cameron for sure through the Diplomat imprint. And, Cameron, I think he did one solo album on Rockefeller Def Jam. Then you had Rockaware, which was the visual identity, monetized the aesthetic of the music. What's that mean? It means many times life imitates art. We see music videos, we see movies, and we start dressing and acting like the people we see in music and film. And so Dash said, okay, rather than us wear a whole bunch of Polo, Ralph Lauren shit, and everybody goes to the store and buys Polo and Ralph Lauren, let's create Rockaware and state property. And so we'll wear all our own shit, and so they'll then go to the store and buy our shit. Instead of us doing a commercial for Polo and what's the name, let's create our own stuff. And then this brand, Rockaware, was sold for $204 million. Even though Dash was bought out early. Then you got Rockefeller Films, which is the narrative arm, which is powerful. Kind of brought the music and the musicians, made them larger than life. It produced, Rockefeller Films produced state property and paid in full. And Menza, I think, got this a little wrong. It says created cult classics, rights later auctioned for pennies. Rockefeller Films is not what was auctioned for $100. This was Poppington LLC that was auctioned for $100. And those films, I think, are just like those films that Murder Mook was in. Some of those films that he did maybe in the last 5 to 10 years. Those aren't Rockefeller films. Rockefeller Films may still exist in some way. I'd want to do a deeper dive, perhaps. Armadale Vodka, its role in the ecosystem was the lifestyle lubricant in early celebrity spirit brand. This came out before Ciroc, before Ace of Spades. And for a while, again, you can see a pattern here. black culture tends to give money to people who don't support us. We wear a whole bunch of expensive shit, which influences our community to go and buy that expensive shit. But those companies then don't breathe life back into the community. They just take the money and run. And so Dame Dash, seeing this, tried to encompass, wow, man, this is actually kind of a revelation to me. But it's in terms with my, and again, I'm interpreting this and giving you analysis based on the way I think. So somebody else could, see this totally differently, and I understand that. Fuck them though, but I can totally get that. But I see how he was like, not necessarily cutting out the middleman, but like all the link to bios are coming to him. Instead of, oh wow, what they got on? Oh, Polo, let me go find Polo. No, he got on Rockefeller. Oh wait, somebody put him in a movie? No, he making his own movies. Oh wait, somebody gave him no, he did his own liquor deal. And then you had Team Rock, which was the street team, the marketing division. They created a grassroots army that made the brand ubiquitous, which has been followed by the Rock Boys, which was Ciroc Street Team. A lot of people bit the fuck out of Dame or copied Dame Dash tremendously. Now, Menza says the film division in particular was Dash's passion project. He directed and produced films like Paper Soldiers and Death of a Dynasty. And Death of a Dynasty deserves a breakdown all by itself. Anyway, these were not just movies, they were vehicles to employ his friends, test new talent like Kevin Hart, and reinforce the rock mythology. Good way of putting it. Paid in full based on the lives of Harlem drug lords Rich Porter, Alpo Martinez, and AZ Faison, remains a touchstone of the genre, cementing Dash's reputation as a purveyor of authentic street narratives. I can get that. Now, the Champagne Dame persona. This is something you can learn from. This is what I was speaking on earlier. How it was hard to have empathy for him based on the image he projected. So let's break this down, Menza. So Dash cultivated a persona of unapologetic opulence. In the late 90s and early 2000s, he was the living embodiment of the ghetto fabulous aesthetic. He was known for champagne showers, a ritual of spraying expensive bottles of Cristal or Bollinger over crowds and colleagues, a practice that signified infinite abundance. Now, they don't say shit when the white boys do that once they win damn NBA, but that's another story. This was not merely hedonism, it was marketing. By projecting an image of untouchable wealth, he attracted talent. He was the magnet that drew in Cameron and the Diplomats, creating a sub-label empire that dominated New York radio. He discovered Kanye West as a producer, rapper, when others saw him only as a beatmaker, giving him the Rockefeller chain that validated his entry into the elite. However, this persona required a burn rate that was unsustainable without the continued partnership of his primary assets, Jay-Z. I guess you could say that was his primary asset. Dash's spending habits, drivers, private jets, Hamptons estates were predicated on the assumption that the Rockefeller cash flow was infinite. He operated with a boss mentality that viewed fiscal prudence as a history. He operated with a boss mentality that viewed fiscal prudence as a sign of weakness or an employee mindset. He famously derided saving money, equating liquidity with a lack of ambition, a philosophy he would later criticize in his boss seminars, but would ultimately leave him vulnerable when the revenue streams dried up. Yeah, and so Dash was saying things like, you know, I got all my money in the street, and I don't need to hold no money. As long as I got money in the street, I could never be broke. He said something to that effect. And he did seem to say something like, yeah, what you mean savings? Why save money? He did seem to say something like that, and that did seem very irresponsible. That was a very irresponsible statement. And a statement that people can now use to laugh at him and criticize him, because at least in the public perspective, he looks pretty damn cracked. So now we got the fracture. This is the split. The Def Jam acquisition and the Palace coup, if y'all can dig that. So the dissolution of Rockefeller Records remains the primal wound in Dash's psyche. In 2004, the partner sold the remaining 50% stake of Rockefeller to Island Def Jam for $10 million. A figure that in retrospect seems paltry for a brand of that magnitude. Retrospect is the word. The critical maneuver, however, was not the sale itself, but the subsequent realignment of power. Yeah, this was the thing, because the artists chose sides. Oh, I'm going to go with Dash, or I'm going to go with Jay. Most of them chose to go with Jay, and the ones Jay didn't want wound up with Dash. So Def Jam offered the presidency of the label not to Dash, the vocal executive, but to Jay-Z, the artist. Wow. Jay-Z accepted, effectively becoming Dash's boss. Well, that ain't really true. Yeah, the timeline, because once they stopped working together after they sold the rest. Jay-Z became the president of Def Jam. Dash started DDMG, Dame Dash Music Group. And he had Beanie Siegel. Beanie Siegel did an album on Dame Dash Music Group. I think Purple Haze may have been the last album on Rockefeller. And nobody promoted it, because I think they were already on the outs. Yeah, but Jay-Z was never Dame Dash's boss, from what I understand. DDMG was a distribution deal that Dash was able to get with Def Jam after they sold Rockefeller. That part's wrong. Now, Dash's narrative is that he was pushed out because he was too real for the corporate structure. That executives like Leroy Cohen manipulated Jay-Z into severing ties to remove the volatile Dash from the equation. He has spent decades retelling the story of how Cohen and others divided and conquered the trio. Conversely, industry observers and former associates like Beanie Siegel have suggested that Jay-Z simply outgrew Dash's antics. The yelling in meetings that worked when they were insurgents became a liability when they were incumbents. Jay-Z wanted to move into boardrooms where silence was power. Dash wanted to keep screaming. That's an interesting analysis. That analysis, I think, deserves further unpacking, but we're not going to do that in this video. So, the liquidation of the friendship. The split was absolute. Jay-Z, well, that's not true. And look, y'all need to be happy that there's somebody like me that's still here to check AI. Because sometimes AI don't know what it talks about either. Because after the split, Jay-Z did retain the masters for reasonable doubt, but no, the original Rockefeller INC or LLC still had. The original LLC still had the rights to that album. And that LLC was owned by Jay-Z, Biggs, and but they did give Jay-Z the Rockefeller name. Or at least let him manage it by making him president. Because he's doing all his dealings under Rock Nation now. Which would indicate that he probably doesn't own the Rockefeller name. So Dame Dash was left with the spin-off Damon Dash Music Group and a roster of artists who were either past their prime or contractually in limbo. Yeah, that's about right. The emotional fallout was as significant, and to be clear, Beans wasn't past his prime. He was locked up at the time all this shit was going down. And so he didn't have as much say as one would like in that predicament. But again, I'll continue. The emotional fallout was as significant as the financial one. Dash had viewed the partnership as a brotherhood. The cold, transactional nature of the split, executed via lawyers and corporate restructuring, shattered his worldview. This betrayal hardened into a permanent chip on his shoulder, driving him to adopt a me against the world stance that would sabotage his future ventures. He began to preach a philosophy of independence that bordered on isolationism. Viewing any collaboration with major corporations as tantamount to slavery. This period marked the beginning of Dash's public unraveling. He began to burn bridges systematically. He attacked Leor Cohen in the press, calling him a culture vulture. Dame Dash definitely embedding the culture vulture conversation. He alienated industry allies by demanding loyalty tests and you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, dude stole my wow as well and turned it into an ad-lib. Bruh, you gonna have to really be real with the people about where you got the O, the sheesh, and the wow from. You're gonna have to be real with the people, because I'm gonna be real with the people. I want all my raps back, yo. I want my rhymes back from everybody. This shit is lightweight triggering. Anyway. He alienated industry allies by demanding loyalty tests that few could pass. The infrastructure that had supported his lavish lifestyle, the marketing teams, the accountants, the legal departments of Def Jam evaporated overnight, leaving him with the expenses of a mogul but the revenue of an indie startup. So now this is the wilderness years. Menza is calling this a cascade of failures. So The 2 decades following the split were characterized by a frantic series of attempted reinventions, each less successful than the last. Dash tried to pivot from music to art, fashion, and media, but without the anchoring gravity of a superstar like Jay-Z, these ventures drifted into insolvency. The DD-172 experiment and the culture vulture era. Post-Rockefeller, Dash attempted to reinvent himself as a curator of cool in Tribeca with a venue called DD-172. It was an art gallery, a music studio, and a creative incubator dubbed the Dash Gallery. He collaborated with acts like the Black Keys and Currency, attempting to pivot from mainstream hip-hop to an indie rock rap hybrid aesthetic. While creatively ambitious, DD-172 was a financial disaster. It was plagued by the same issues that haunted Rockefeller, lack of administrative discipline. The gallery was eventually shut down due to liquor license violations and unpaid rent. Now, I have never heard that in my life. I do not know if that's all the way true, but damn, if that's true. It was during this period that Dame Dash began codifying his grievances into a manifesto, eventually coining the term culture vulture to describe executives like Leroy Cohen and Steve Stout, whom he accused of exploiting black art for white corporate profit. This era also saw Dash launching America New, a magazine and later a digital network which struggled to gain traction in a crowded media landscape. His attempts to launch a new whiskey brand, Dusko, also failed to capture the market share he once envisioned. The word is envisioned. For Armadale. Then we got the Rachel Roy debacle, Love, Law, and Loss. So Dash's marriage to fashion designer Rachel Roy was another pillar of his post-Jay-Z life that crumbled in the litigation. They launched the Rachel Roy fashion brand together, a venture Dash claimed he funded and built. However, following their divorce in 2009, the business relationship turned toxic. Dash sued Roy for $2.5 million in 2015, alleging breach of contract and claiming she and her partners were interfering with his cash distributions and mismanaging the company, which was Royale Atenia LLC. He accused them of hiding money and manipulating the books to squeeze him out. The custody battle for their daughters, Ava and Tallulah, became equally vicious. Roy obtained sole physical custody and restraining orders, citing Dash's alleged drug use and erratic behavior in court proceedings. Accusations flew regarding Dash's marijuana use, which claims that the children had access to pot-laced baked goods. Dash vehemently denied these claims, attributing them to a concerted effort to discredit him. But the court sided with Roy. What do you fucking know? This legal war drained millions from his dwindling reserves, a self-inflicted wound driven by his inability to settle or de-escalate. No, once the women get them white people in your life, the people that in the courts and shit, nah. But anyway, that's just me. Then you got the Lee Daniels lawsuit, which was a hollow victory. One of the few legal victories Dash secured was against director Lee Daniels. Dash had invested $2 million in Daniels' early films with the agreement of executive producer credits and profit participation. For years, Dash claimed Daniel ignored the debt as he rose to fame with Precious and The Butler. After publicly confronting Daniels at a Diana Ross concert, Dash sued for $5 million. They eventually settled in 2018 for a reported $1.7, paid in installments. While this provided a temporary influx of cash, it was a retrospective collection, not a new revenue stream. It kept the lights on, but it did not rebuild the empire. The public nature of the feud, Dash posting videos of confronting debtors, further alienated potential business partners who viewed him as a liability. Then we got the Josh Weber and Dear Frank disaster. The final nail in the coffin of Dash's solvency came from a relatively low budget film Dash was brought on to direct, a film titled Dear Frank, later in the list. The relationship with producer Josh Weber soured, and Dash was removed from the project. Dash responded by claiming ownership of the film, shopping it to other distributors under a different name, and allegedly defaming Weber and his attorney, Chris Brown, on social media and podcasts. Weber sued for defamation and copyright infringement. Dash's handling of this lawsuit. I'm tripping on this, y'all. I'm tripping. Dash's handling of this lawsuit was catastrophic. He frequently refused to sit for depositions, insulted imposing counsel, and claimed he was illiquid and unable to travel. His behavior in court, described by judges as disruptive and disrespectful, led to a default judgment. The initial judgment of $823,000 ballooned to over $4 million as Dash continued to defame Weber after the verdict. It was this specific debt that empowered the courts to seize his share in Rockefeller Records. Now wait a minute, is this that same dude who was just on this chick's video? Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Okay, no, this is something. This is another person. Okay, I thought that was the same dude. That would have been. Whew, that would have been good, y'all. Quick break, yo. Hit the like if you're here. Okay, I'm back. Yo. This is really a trip, bro. That's a trip, y'all. I think this sounded a little bit better on the background music tip. Can y'all hear me okay? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, we still here. So, let's continue. By 2024, the cumulative weight of 20 years of lawsuits, failed ventures, and lifestyle maintenance caused the floor to collapse under Dash. The details of his bankruptcy filing paint a picture of a man who was living entirely on the fumes of his past reputation. In his September 2024 bankruptcy filing, Chapter 7, in Florida, Dash presented a financial picture of utter destitution. The contrast between his public projection of boss status and his filed assets was staggering. So, total debt, $25 million, which is an insurmountable wall of debt. Tax debt is $19 million, including $8.7 million to New York State and millions to the IRS in New Jersey. And then New York State are the ones who bought his album. It's crazy. It's like the people that are owing him are buying his assets for next to nothing, and then he still owe them. Like, they are like fucking this dude life over, bruh. Alright, so yeah, $19 million in tax debt, then legal judgments of about $4 million owed to Josh Weber, and then also Muddy Water Pictures. Looks like he owes $647,000 in arrears to Rachel Roy and Cindy Morales. They're saying the total value of all his personal assets is $4,350. Cash on hand is $100. Men's a smart ass gonna say the liquidity of a mogul. Monthly income is $0. That was at the time of the filing. And his possessions, he's got 2 firearms, minimal clothing, and some jewelry. That's all he owns. The filing revealed that Dash owned no real estate, no vehicles, and no significant electronics beyond a $500 cell phone. He claimed to be surviving solely on the generosity of others, yet continued to maintain a social media presence that implied activity and relevance. So now we get to the reasonable doubt auction, the sale of the crown jewel. Yo, Menzo, all these big words. You gotta sound more like me, bro. I'm gonna read this. Ninja is my AI, my proprietary AI. So the climax, I'm gonna say the climax because Nadir, I've never used the word Nadir, the Nadir of this saga. Nah, the climax of this saga was the forced auction of Dash's 33 1/3% stake in Rockefeller Incorporated. This was not a strategic exit, it was a seizure by the United States Marshal Service to satisfy the judgment owed to Josh Weber. The asset in question was singular, the copyright ownership of Jay-Z's debut album, Reasonable Doubt. The auction, held in November of 2024, was expected to draw bids in the tens of millions, given the cultural stature of the album. Dash publicly floated the idea that it could sell for $10 million or more, promising a Rockefeller chain to any high bidder. The outcome: the auction was a catastrophe. The winning bid was a mere $1 million placed by the state of New York. Specifically, the Department of Taxation and Finance. Yo, that is so crazy to me. The estate effectively stepped in as a creditor, buying the asset to hold it. They intend to resell it to recover the $8.7 million tax debt, but the low valuation at the initial auction set a disastrous precedent. Of that $1 million, portions were immediately earmarked for New York City for unpaid child support, leaving Dash with nothing to satisfy the Weber judgment or his other creditors. The asset that was supposed to be his retirement fund was consumed by the state for pennies on the dollar. Yo, this is the breakdown, yo. This is... So now let's talk about Jay-Z's Poison Pill. Why did a seminal piece of hip-hop history sell for less than the price of a mid-tier Manhattan apartment? The answer lies in the strategic maneuvering of Jay-Z. So leading up to the auction, Jay-Z's legal team issued statements and filings asserted that the copyright of Reasonable Doubt would revert to Sean Carter in 2031, just 6 years from the auction date. They cited the termination rights under the U.S. Copyright Act, which allows authors to reclaim work 35 years after publication. This declaration was a poison pill. It signaled to any potential investor, be it a hedge fund, a private equity firm, or a rival mogul, that they were not buying a perpetual income stream, but a depreciating asset with a 6-year expiration date. So Dash and the city of New York argued that the copyright would not revert until 2098, which I think is actually true, classifying the work as a work for hire owned by the corporation rather than the individual. They accused Jay-Z of poisoning the environment to suppress the bid price. That's probably true. The uncertainty worked. Institutional investors, terrified of entering a legal battle with a billionaire like Jay-Z over copyright termination, stayed away. The suppression of the price was a masterstroke of corporate warfare. Wow. Ensuring that Dash could not reap a windfall from the asset Jay-Z created. If the $1 million auction was a tragedy, the subsequent auction of Dash's film company Poppington LLC was a farce. In December, 1 month later, 2024, the rights to Dash's film library, including Honor Up and the Black Rock documentary, and also I think it was Lositis was the name of the movie, were put on the block. The winning bid was $100. The buyer was Mike Muntaser, a creditor associated with the Josh Weber judgment. Muntaser admitted to the press that the purchase was a jab, a final insult to the man who had dragged them through years of litigation. Also, that is the same people. Oh. He's just a problem, Muntaser said. He has an ego. 50 Cent, observing the spectacle from social media, commented, "Damn, $1? They took his whole shit." This movement crystallized the total collapse of Dash's perceived value. Menzer said his life's work in film was valued at less than a dinner for two. Damn. Now, this is the part I was speaking to. The gallery of silence, allies, enemies, and bystanders. Wow. Well, let's talk about it. So Jay-Z has not merely watched Dash fall, he has arguably engineered the final descent, or at minimum, removed the safety nets. Jay-Z has maintained a policy of absolute public silence regarding Dash, never responding to his insults or provocations in interviews. However, his legal actions speak volumes. By asserting the 2031 reversion right, he devalued Dash's only remaining bargaining chip. There is speculation that the state of New York, now holding the shares, may eventually sell them quietly to Jay-Z. This would allow him to reacquire his masters for a fracture of the open market value, bypassing Dash entirely and paying the state directly. It is the ultimate boss move, using the government as a middleman to reclaim one's legacy while leaving one's rival with nothing. Dash's frequently attacked Jay-Z's character, calling him a liar and criticizing his association with informants. Yet, Jay-Z's refusal to engage only highlights the power disparity. Jay-Z is playing chess. Dash is flipping the board. And you got Kanye, the absent protege. Dash discovered Kanye West. He championed him as a rapper when Jay-Z and others only wanted his beats. He gave him the Rockefeller chain. Kanye has acknowledged that debt in the past, stating, "I wouldn't have a record deal if it wasn't for Dame Dash." In 2025, amidst another of Dash's financial crunches, Kanye and Dash publicly announced they were teaming up to buy the streetwear brand Karmaloop out of bankruptcy. It was framed as a reunion of the visionaries. The deal never materialized. It was bubblegum shit that generated headlines but no transaction. In the 2024-2025 crisis, Kanye has been largely absent. While dealing with his own massive controversies and financial volatility, he's not stepped in to bail Dash out. Dash continues to speak highly of Kanye's billionaire status even when disputed, and they shared honor, but there's no evidence of a financial lifeline. The two are ideologically aligned as anti-corporate disruptors, but functionally, Kanye's too chaotic to save Dash, and Dash is too proud to beg explicitly. And you got Kevin Hart. The conflict with Kevin Hart is perhaps the pettiest but most revealing of Dash's mindset. Dash cast a young, unknown Kevin Hart in the 2002 Rockefeller film Paper Soldiers. Dash views this as making Kevin Hart. Dash publicly complained that Hart does not support his current ventures or reach back. He views Hart's success as a dividend he is owed. "I shouldn't have to ask," is Dash's refrain. Well, Kevin Hart has largely dismissed this, adopting the philosophy that opportunity is not a lifetime debt. Never expect, and you will never be disappointed. Hart remarked indirectly, addressing the entitled Dash displays. Hart acknowledges the role but refuses the feudal obligation Dash implies. To Dash, Hart is a worker who forgot who the boss was. To Hart, Dash is a stepping stone from 2 decades ago. Well, then you got Drake, which is the phantom savior in this position. In a bizarre subplot to the auction, rumors circulated fueled by Dash that Drake had bid $6 million for the Rockefeller estate. Dash claimed Drake reached out via DM and made the offer. This would have been a lifeline, clearing the Weber judgment and a chunk of the taxes. Drake disappeared. The bid was never formalized in the auction. Whether it was a troll, a momentary whim, or a fabrication of Dash to drive up interest is unclear, but the outcome was a crushing disappointment. Dash was left speculating. I thought maybe he connected with Jay or something, implying again that Jay-Z shadow scared off the savior. Then there's Cameron and the Diplomats. Cameron, arguably the most loyal of the post-split rock roster, maintained a complex relationship with Dash. They collaborated on films and businesses recently. Well, not recently, but semi-recently. Cameron has defended Dash's character against claims that he ruined The Rock, often shifting blame to Jay-Z's calculated selfishness. However, either Cameron has had to sue Dash or threaten legal action in the past over business mishandlings. In the current crisis, Cameron is watching from a position of media strength, discussing Dash's plight as a content. Well, he's using Dash's plight as content rather than intervening as a financier. The dynamic has shifted. Cam is now the media mogul, and Dash is the subject of the news cycle. Well, then you got the culture vultures, Steve Stout and Leo Cohen. So for the executives, Dash physically and verbally assaulted. I don't know nothing about physical. To them, his fall is likely viewed as karmic justice. Steve Stout, Dash once famously slapped Stout for participating in a Reebok deal with Jay-Z. Oh, he slapped him? They excluded Dash. Stout is now a tech and advertising mogul, also owns United Masters. Dash's recent rants against Stout, telling him to get some therapy, ring hollow from position of bankruptcy. Again, against a position of equity. So in other words, Stout got the bag, Dash got the bag, so you can't tell nigga with money to get therapy. And then you got Lear Cohen, the former Def Jam head, now global head of music at YouTube. I guess that represents a corporate victory. Dash's narrative that Cohen destroyed The Rock to steal the culture has not stopped Cohen's ascent. These figures are not watching him fall with pity. They are likely not watching him at all. Having moved on to global tech integrations while Dash fights over 1996 copyrights. It's quite a breakdown, isn't it? So now let's do a detailed financial analysis of the collapse. To understand how 50 million turns into negative 25 million, one must analyze the specific mechanics of Dash's insolvency. So first you got the illiquid defense versus reality. Dash has famously argued in interviews, "I'm not broke, I'm illiquid." He claims his value is in assets, libraries, and intellectual property that are hard to convert to cash. The auction proved this false. The market valuation of his primary asset was tested and found to be $1 million. If his crown jewel is worth only $1 million due to legal encumbrances, his net worth is not illiquid. It is non-existent. In a separate humiliating auction in December 2024, Dash's film company Poppington LLC, holding rights to films like Honor Up, was sold. The winning bid was $100. It was purchased by Mike Muntaser, a creditor Dash owed $973,000 to, purely as a jab. That's foul. 50 Cent mocked this publicly, as I stated earlier, and this vividly illustrates that Dash's perceived asset value was entirely delusional. And there's the tax burden, 8.7 owed to New York, and millions owed to IRS. Damn. This is not a sudden misfortune. It is a lifestyle sustained by gross negligence is the word, of tax obligations. Dash prioritized maintaining the appearance of wealth, driver's chains art over the foundational duties of a business owner. The boss doesn't pay taxes. The boss reinvents. The government has now called that bluff. Here's legal attrition. Dash represented himself in many recent legal matters or cycled through attorneys. His courtroom behavior, disruptive, arrogant, refusing to be deposed, led to default judgments. So Dash lost the Dear Frank case, that's the Josh Weber case, not necessarily on the merits of copyright, but because he was unruly and uncooperative in discovery. A $4 million judgment was a result of this. It ain't just bad luck. Wow. So, Dame Dash's rise and fall is the ultimate Greek tragedy of the hip-hop generation. He was the Icarus who believed that hustle was a substitute for gravity. Damn. His contributions are undeniable. He pioneered the CEO. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap that there, Menza. That's one hell of a analysis, though, for real. Dame Dash. I want to do some follow-up here. I want to know, based on the report that I just read, what can Dame Dash do to rehabilitate his career, his reputation, his finances, his net worth? And I'm gonna be back in a second to unpack that. Cause damn, that was just a whole bunch of bad news I just read. It was a little triggering for me. Well, what's your reaction to that? Do I have anybody in the chat that wants to say anything? I should have titled this stream something else. I'm kind of just sitting here thinking about what I just read from Menza. No, the trip. Yo, and it's just like, don't nobody want to help him. Some people acting like they're afraid to help him. It's a trip, man. All the way around. All the way around, yo. You are watching the Meanland stream. gotta be one of these. Yo, all my bitches bad and be about they bag. I still got it. And all my bitches bad and be about they bag. I'm almost ready to record the song to this beat that you hear in the background. Almost. Yeah, almost. It sounds a little bit different. I worked on it some more since this rendering. Being all the way G about it. But, and for the better, it sounds pretty much the same, but I changed a couple things about it. And I plan on doing like a music stream in the near future. Let me see something. Okay, no, that ain't it. That's my other song. So, all right, Dame. You know, I wish the best of luck to Dame Dash, honestly. You know, I don't know him. He never did nothing to me, so I ain't got no reason to, you know, be tripping on bro. You see? I just hope whatever he's trying to do, he gets it done. I don't want to see, like, I don't want to see Dame Dash, you know, all fucked up somewhere. And you know, I hope he got some money. I hope you know, he actually has some money. I hope that thing about him not having no money and no income and, you know, $50 in the bank and all that, and $5,000 to his name and all that. I hope that's not true. I don't know what all he's done to get to this predicament where don't nobody want to fuck with him no more. I don't know. All right, so next topic. Ticket TV has some type of video on here talking about the only thing, bro, if I'm gonna come back to that one. Okay, Shannon Sharp got John Elway. Okay, I'll maybe watch that next week. 50 Cent exposes Dame Dash broke. Okay, we just spent a half hour on that one or longer. How long we been streaming? For a long ass time, apparently. Gavin Newsom's message about black people. I'm gonna come back to that, Willie D. That seems kind of intense there. Let me see. Now, what's this about? HHS freezes child care payments to Minnesota. I guess this has something to do with the Somalis over there. But okay, let's listen to this and see what this is about. This is from MS Now.
Let's bring in now MS Now reporter Alex Cabot and pulmonologist and MS Now medical
Courtesy of
contributor
MS
Dr.
Now.
Vin
This
Gupta.
is
Alex, what more is
fair
HHS
use.
saying about this funding freeze?
Well, Ariel, this is a dramatic escalation from the Trump administration. In a video statement overnight, Deputy Health Secretary Jim O'Neill and Assistant Health Secretary Alex Adams posted a pre-recorded video with some major announcements. First, that HHS will be freezing all child care funding to the state of Minnesota. But it's more than that, Ariel. They also announced that all future payments from the Administration for Children's and Families, also known as ACF, will now require justification and a receipt or photo evidence for payments or for future payments. They also called for an audit of Minnesota daycare facilities. And finally, Ariel, they announced that the department will be launching a dedicated fraud reporting hotline and email address. And I want you to hear just a snippet from that bombshell announcement.
We believe the state of Minnesota has allowed scammers and fake daycares to siphon millions of taxpayer dollars over the past decade.
My office, ACF, provides Minnesota $185 million in child care funds each year. That money should be helping 19,000 American children, including toddlers and infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children.
Now, Ariel, this all comes in response to a...
Man, I swear some of these motherfuckers don't even be looking real. Can you look at this dude to the left? The dude to the right don't look real, but this dude to the left, he looked like a goddamn, what they call him, NPC, a damn drone, a damn AI, but that nigga don't not even look like a real person. How does this person, when they turn the TV off, does he get into a car or does he just disappear? I'm saying, when they say cut, when they turn the camera off, what does this person eat for lunch? He don't even seem like a real person, yo. Sorry.
And infants. Any dollar stolen by fraudsters is stolen from those children.
Now, Ariel, this all comes in response to a viral video from a right-wing YouTuber, which claims to have discovered rampant fraud at daycares run by members of the Somali diaspora in Minnesota. But it's important to note, Ariel, that we don't actually know the veracity of those claims. And Tiki Brown, the commissioner of Minnesota's Department of Children, Youth, and Families, said earlier...
It's funny, you know, I figured something out, y'all. The reason why rich black people are not allowed to help poor black people is because you are fucking up the immigration policy of the U.S. The U.S. brings favored nations, people from their favorite nations in, Asians, Indians, Koreans, Arabs or Arabs, as we used to call them in Cleveland. But these people are supposed to leech off of black people. Like, how else are these people supposed to make money? They can't set up shop in the white neighborhoods. They have to set up shop in the nigger neighborhoods. And so niggas trying to buy back the block and help the community and help people be independent and less dependent on it. You fucking up national policy. That's why your ass gotta die. That's why you gotta catch a case, because you trying to help black folks. You trying to create generational wealth, and we trying to keep these motherfuckers poor so we can continue to blood suck and make billions from our immigration policy. You niggas is crazy. Look, you see how they done cut off the child care for an entire motherfucking state, just so they can stop people, man. Anyway, and see, the other thing is, the Democrats have their favorite nations and the Republicans have their favorite nations. See, the Somalis was cool for like 2 years ago, last year, but now all of a sudden they're garbage, they're scum. But now we bringing in South African refugees and immigrants. Boy, you motherfuckers better wake up.
This week that her department has been checking in on those daycares highlighted in the video in the past few months. So far, she says that they've found no uncoverings of fraud, but she did say that there will be more check-ins on those daycare centers this week. And Ariel, this is all resulting in a war of words between Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and President Trump. Governor Walz posting on X overnight that President Trump is, quote, politicizing the issue to defund programs that help Minnesotans by freezing these HHS payments. And meanwhile, President Trump took to his social media platform, Truth Social, within just the last hour to call Governor Walz a, quote, crooked governor. Ariel?
Alex Tabbitt, thank you so much for those updates. I know we'll continue to monitor the investigation as it unfolds. But Dr. Gupta, this isn't the first time we've seen HHS make a move viewed as politically motivated. Earlier this month, the agency cut nearly $12 million in grants to the American Academy of Pediatrics.
Every news channel got a Dr. Gupta.
Essentially, it and several other organizations no longer align with the department's mission or priorities. That was seen as a swipe against HHS Secretary RFK Jr.'s agenda. So talk to me as a physician about the trickle-down impact that these moves have on patient care, setting the politics of all of this aside, which has been the focus of all of this, and the massive fraud investigation that we're watching. How does this impact children in Minnesota?
Well, Ariel, we're seeing across the country, not just in Minnesota, but across the country with measles. And the tee-up you brought up, measles, we're going to lose our elimination status of the country for an infectious disease that impacts children predominantly. And take flu. We're now in the midst of one of the worst flu seasons we've seen, an early flu season. This is compounding.
Now, look, I don't want no defamation lawsuits, bro. But I look at some people and I can tell they're not who they project themselves to be. That's all I'm going to say about this guy right here. He's got I can't even say because I don't know. I don't know for sure, but I can look at this guy and tell that there's more to him than what he's putting on.
Especially when we have the American Academy of Pediatrics being under-resourced, defunded. They are an advocate for everything that protects children. And we're having these compounding risk factors just as pediatric beds are becoming less and less. It's a convergence of factors here that should worry us all, especially those of us that are actually caring for patients.
So speaking of the flu, we're tracking that fast-spreading strain that's hitting the country, families so hard. The CDC is now reporting the so-called super flu H3N2 variant has caused hospitalizations to nearly double in the last week. That's pretty staggering. What makes this variant different from others that we've encountered, and why is it so rampant?
Well, something that gets lost sometimes when we speak about the flu to the general public is that this is one of those viruses that finds a way to change and adapt and mutate. That's what's happened. Over the course of just the last 6 months, this new virus variant is more contagious. And we're finding that while the vaccine is effective, every single flu vaccine in any given year has imperfections. This one is still robustly protective against ending up in the hospital. The vaccine rates are low. And you did an incredible work reporting about measles in South Carolina. I was watching it. We saw that measles vaccine uptake rates lower there. We're seeing flu vaccine uptake rates across all zip codes lower than they should be even pre-pandemic. And that's creating vulnerability across society. And that's really what's driving a lot of hospitalizations.
Oh, here we go. Now we got the super flu. All I can say, yo, is you can no longer eat based on how it tastes. You gotta eat based on what it does inside of your body. We are not children anymore. This channel right here, ain't no children on this channel. If you are, you can still learn from this, but this is adult entertainment, what you are watching right now. Any of you adults that are still behaving like children when it comes to what you eat and drink and consume, I just don't feel like you can talk to me about anything else if you are not at least making efforts to take care of yourself. I do not care what your sick ass think about politics or the streets or anything else. Anyway, were we done talking about the food stamps? No, now we talking about this super bug. All right, let's finish up on the super flu bug. This is some bullshit.
We're seeing peak hospitalizations very early in the flu season. We're still early. That's the concern, is that this is still early.
Yeah, Dr. Gupta, thank you so much for the kind words. It was good to get there and get to speak to people on the ground, including physicians, families, administrators of the districts that are being.
Hey man, the people that run this world are fucking sickos, bro. And to be accepted amongst these sickos, you got to be a sick person. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hit hard by this. We also are seeing, of course, that
but your sick ass can't tell me
South
shit.
Carolina, 20 new cases were reported since last Friday. That brings the total there to 179. And I should say, nationwide, we've surpassed 2,000 cases, and that's the highest in 30 years. As you mentioned at the top there, we're at the risk of losing our global eradicated status for measles here in the U.S. And I reported on the ground in South Carolina. Want to play a little bit of what a pediatrician told us there.
Yeah, we've had a few families
Hold
that
on, yo,
totally gets vaccinations.
that was way more important than what that bro was talking about.
There.
So, this is the measles. Serious complications include pneumonia, severe diarrhea and dehydration, ear infections, which can lead to permanent hearing loss, malnutrition, especially in younger children. Okay, this is the brain and nervous system problems. So encephalitis, which is swelling of the brain. SSPE, which is subacute and sclerosing panencephalitis. Other serious effects: blindness, especially in children with vitamin A deficiency, weakened immune system for months to years. In unvaccinated populations, 1 in 3 out of every 1,000 children who get measles may die. Okay.
Yeah, we've had a few families that totally gets vaccinations, but again, once they see the real world implication of these diseases and what they can possibly do to people, again, they start thinking, I don't know, maybe we need to do this after all.
So clearly, you know, when this truly impacts your community, you start to maybe change your mind a bit. But there is still lingering vaccine hesitancy and refusal in a pocket of South Carolina. That's reflective of some other places in the country. Vast majority of cases are in kids who are unvaccinated, as you well know, or have an unknown vaccination status, doctor. So we've heard from experts, rely on your pediatrician for guidance. But as a physician, I'd love to know from you, when the onus is placed on a pediatrician or on a doctor to convince your patient to take a vaccine when you don't really have that support from the federal government, what is that like?
Well, there's only so much you can do in a 15-minute pediatrician visit. I know this well because both my mom and my wife are pediatricians.
I've had enough of this one, yo. I'm so... You know, during the pandemic, I was conflicted about what to say and what not to say and what advice to give. You know, times like those are the worst times to be separated from your children, both, you know, physically and mentally and spiritually. You know, when somebody else has the heart of your children, whether it's the other parent or whether it's society or whether it's the streets, times like that when you know that you can give your children information that could help them, you know, those times are the worst. I got a message out to my 3 oldest about the vitamin D, you know, based on what I based on what I saw on this Joe Rogan podcast where him and his white lady was talking about how black people lack vitamin D, you know. And I didn't really like how they was talking about it, but it was factual, the information that was being presented. But, you know, when children aren't in your home, it's so hard to like give them advice. The other parent, which is usually the mama, got most kids in America thinking, oh, if your father's not supporting financially, there's nothing else he can contribute. Because she obviously y'all not together, so she disagrees with what you say, and she don't think you right, and so she doesn't think your insight is of value to the children. How did I get to that from this vaccine conversation? It's man, the more educated you get, you realize how all of these issues are really the same fucking issue. Yep. But I started all that to say that I was reluctant to say, hey, don't do the jab during that time, because so many other voices were louder. Like the two most vocal people in my family during that time, one of them died after taking that jab. The other one was in the hospital, almost died. But these are the people who have had the hearts and the soul of the family, and led everybody, in my opinion, down the wrong path. Now, what I can't say is that jab didn't help certain populations. You see, I have another friend in LA. He lost both his parents to that shit, and I don't think either one of them was vaccinated. But again, my family members took that shit and it fucked them up, right? So it really wasn't for me to tell nobody else, hey, nobody should do that. It was never my intention to do that. But I wish that I would have had more influence over my immediate family during that time. And this time and every other time, my children make so many mistakes. And sometimes you gotta let children make mistakes, but I just wish I had more impact. You know, my child will watch a news report like this shit we watching right now with Vin Gupta, and without perspective and without contrasting opinion, you might think this is the only opinion that matters. Now, if I was in the room with Vin Gupta, my type of language would get him scowling and red and angry. You don't know, that motherfucker be attacking me because I don't agree 100% with what he's talking about. I'd be demonized. Oh, let's look into let's find something bad about him. That's how these motherfuckers play. You can't challenge an asshole nowadays. Even if he dead wrong, he gonna find something to talk about you that will make your criticism or your input mute. This world is fucked up, yo. Let's listen to Vinny finish here.
Nutritions. And so I'm close to the field. There's only so much you can do. That 15-minute visit is pressure packed. There's a lot to discuss. Let's just quickly emphasize a few points that I know pediatricians across the country want to make sure emphasize. One, measles just doesn't make you sick once. Ariel, you saw this in South Carolina. There's something called immune amnesia. If you get impacted, especially if you're a child and you get infected with the measles, it can actually wipe out your immune system's memory against prior infections, prior vaccinations, making you more vulnerable for another different type of infection. It causes immune amnesia, and we don't talk enough about that. So that's number one. Parents out there need to be aware that this actually creates greater vulnerability for your child against all forms of infection. That's one. Two, it's
So this new measles they got causes immune amnesia. Have y'all ever heard of this shit? Immune amnesia? Immune amnesia. You can't be fucking serious, bro. Not immune amnesia. Wow. Go ahead, Vinny.
Contagious for up to 2 hours after somebody that's infected leaves a room. And 3, the medically fragile and those under 12 months of age are especially at risk because they're not fully vaccinated.
Incredibly important points to elucidate for us. Thank you so much, Dr. Vin Gupta. Happy New Year to you, my friend. Appreciate it.
I'm tripping a little bit after that one. That was kind of crazy. All right, let's turn it back up, yo. What else we want to look at here? I keep wanting to watch this Ticket TV video, but the only thing about Ticket is he take 5 minutes to get to the point all the time. And then sometimes the story don't really be what he said it was going to be. Okay, y'all, let's check out the new California laws that are taking effect in 2026.
We are just a few days away from the start of a new year, and right here in California, there are several new laws that will affect you and your family in 2026. From cracking down on cell phones in schools to new rules for food delivery apps, even changes on how your pet is cared for. KTVU's John Krinjak live tonight in Alameda with the story. John?
Yeah, Mike, perhaps the biggest change you'll feel is here at the grocery store. Come Thursday, these will be a thing of the past, and you'll see a whole lot more of these.
Yeah, no more plastic bags.
Starting January 1st, plastic bags of any kind will be banned at California stores.
I think it's a good move. Plastic is a pretty big problem.
It's probably slightly inconvenient for us.
It comes after a partial ban that allowed reusable plastic bags essentially backfire.
And that resulted in plastic bag waste doubling. So basically we wanted to address that.
Under the new law, you can bring your own bag, or stores can use paper bags and charge you 10 cents.
If they decide to go back to paper bags, hey, that's trees, man.
Another issue in 26, cell phones in the classroom.
It's very controversial.
California public schools have until July 1st.
Hey, that's trees, man. Oh, damn. Swear, I need that. I need that on the soundboard. Y'all want me to do a soundboard? My soundboard is gonna be different than everybody's. Hey, that's trees, man. How do I? Wait a minute. How do I just need to mark that for the future, bro. I need to share this at that timing right there. Start there. I just need to maybe share this with myself. Oh man, let me see. Where do I share this at? I just want to just email it to myself. How about that? Can I email it to myself? Pick the app. I know y'all seeing too much. There's too much game on the screen right now. Let's try. Open it up in Brave. Yeah, I really don't want to open up my email on stream. what I really want to do though is just copy that, and then let me bring a window over here so y'all can't see. All right, now let me open up my Gmail. Sorry y'all, I told y'all this is a something I just wanted to do today. I wanted to go ahead and stream. I've been working on a new setup, and it's not necessarily ready. I mean, you could tell by the screen that we definitely ain't playing with your bitch ass, but let's go here and I just want to email this to myself. I just want to email this to myself. Soundboard. Oh, no. Sorry. Send it to me. Give me a second, y'all. I'm sorry. I just gotta do this. Alright, so anyway, that was funny. What are the laws, y'all?
If they decide to go back to paper bags, hey, that's trees, man.
Another.
Yo, it's the way he said it. Now, okay, I'm gonna do drops differently than all these other fools, bro. Oh my god, that was crazy. That was funny as hell. Oh, I want to see. That just gave me a wild idea for how to drop drops. All right, anyway.
Another hot issue in 26, cell phones in the classroom.
It's very controversial.
California public schools have until July 1st to enact policies limiting or banning student phone use, something many families are divided about.
And the phone's fine to keep in touch with them after and before school, but I think it's taking away from their focus.
Yo, whoever in the fuck that's a fake dude. Yo, I'm sorry. I really don't watch the news anymore because I know a lot of the, eyewitnesses that they put on be fake people. He had some dumbass opinion about the bag. Now he got another dumbass opinion about the cell phone. He says before and after is okay, but during I think it's disruptive. Bitch, nigga, you don't think the shit they teach in school is disruptive? Not only that, but if some shit go down in the school, my kid can't now call his parent, or my grandchild, I guess, can't call their parent because the fucking phone is locked the fuck away. Oh no, it's too many school shootings and too much bullshit going on for you to tell me, oh, that's just the same way as on motherfucking set. Like if I'm shooting a movie or shooting a TV show or something, yeah, they don't want you to bring your phone on set. But guess what? I might need my motherfucking phone while I'm up on set. Some shit might happen. I might need to call somebody. I might need to take a picture. No, motherfucker, I'm taking my phone with me. If I'm put it on vibrate and put it in my sock or whatever, nah. And you bitch ass niggas who's walking around looking for phones, no, put your phone away. Now, I totally disagree with that. Sure, excessive use of the cell phone might be disruptive. Maybe you can, maybe put one of those, because what we do on set, we got like these bags that you put your phone in, and you can, the people that cooperate with this, you put your phone in a bag, and then during break time, you can then open up the bag and check your phone. But for one, I'm going to miss calls Like, I'm getting calls from casting agents. Can I do this work? Can I do this work? And if I don't reply fast, they gonna get a shit to somebody else. Hey, yo, bitch ass want to keep me from getting more work? No, I need my phone. So the child, maybe give him a bag or something he can lock away while class is in session. But during emergency, he can open up and use the fucking phone. What if his teacher is doing some old freak ass, weirdo ass shit? Nah, I don't agree with that. There's too many school shootings and all type of other shit going on for you to tell me I can't have my phone. Now I'm trying to put myself in a child's mind right now. Ain't no fucking way. What if I'm getting bullied? What if like some shit is going on that ain't cool in school? You gonna try to lock my phone away? Fuck you. I don't like it. I would really have a problem putting my children through public school. Like, if I was to ever do that again, I ain't putting my kids in public school. That's just it. Got this asshole. I ain't think this bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry, y'all. I get triggered.
Taking away from their focus.
I think it's very important for kids to be able to communicate with their parents in emergency situations.
Also in schools, new laws cracking down on anti-Semitism and barring ICE agents from campuses without a warrant. ICE and other law enforcement will also be banned from wearing masks in California. Meanwhile, new transparency rules for AI chatbots take effect next year.
Are we getting the truth? Or is the AI, telling us the wrong thing?
And if you've ever ordered from DoorDash or Grubhub only to find your order is totally
I'd be interested in knowing what that actually meant. The AI. What do you mean? So what is the law? They just skipped over that.
A new law may have your back.
I think lawmakers are going to get a lot of credit for this one.
In 2026, food delivery apps must give full refunds for incorrect orders and offer human customer service.
That's pretty intense for businesses, like a full refund. At the same time, if you didn't get what you paid for, it makes sense to get some.
A full refund if the order is incorrect. And human customer service, but it don't have to be human delivery. See how ass backwards these motherfuckers are? I know I said I wasn't gonna cuss. I might have to maybe edit this for the live stream. But you see how backwards these motherfuckers are? Human customer service, but a robot can still pull up with the food. And then, you get a full refund if the order is incorrect. Whose earnest is that on? Because what's going to happen is people are going to scam. People are going to scam delivery drivers. Yeah, he didn't bring me all the right shit. So they're going to get, and it's going to, and the restaurants are already assholes towards delivery drivers. Ass backwards ass law, bro. Ass backwards.
Some kind of compensation back.
And at C-Spot Run in Alameda, they're celebrating a new law banning the declawing of cats.
Declawing is removing the whole bone. Cats are basically walking on their joints or like walking on their bones, which hurts them.
I think any law outlawing animal cruelty is important because the animal doesn't have a way to defend themselves.
And other new laws taking effect in the new year include capping the cost of insulin at $35 for most Californians, allowing car buyers 3 days to return their car to the dealer, and making Diwali a state holiday. Mike?
Who? Making what a state holiday?
Right now on a special edition.
Look, never mind. Ass backwards ass laws. So no more plastic bags, back to paper. But you're gonna charge for the paper bag. Well, I'm gonna bring my reusable bag. Them motherfucking reusable bags that you made everybody buy last year, I'm bringing them. And I bet you ain't gonna be able to tell me I can't use my own bag, huh? Oh, Cassie hires lawyer after judge lets accusers lawsuit proceed. So the problem with that title, K.A. Vuitton, is that I no longer have to watch your video. You told me everything I need to know, and you know, I don't necessarily, well, I won't say that. But you've told me everything I need to know for the headline, so I don't have to watch your video, man. There's not really much other info. I mean, because scanning through your video, it's all kind of you talking. You don't really show any graphics here. See? So there's not really much to watch about that. They keep throwing ticket video at me. Carcino has been a mentor of mine as far as YouTube. I really appreciated some of his Truth Behind series. He's not always 100% right, but he's usually close enough to where I'll continue watching. Or sometimes he'll the way he speaks sometimes it's hard to, he'll use words he don't know what they really mean sometimes. But then when you listen more, you'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I know what he meant. But he also takes forever to get to the point. You know, shout out Carcino though. I am a supporter of his videos. He's absolutely been a mentor of mine on this YouTube thing. I've been studying what he does as far, and it's also a whole lot of other people. I've been watching a lot of this Andrew Bustamante ex or current CIA spy stuff. Interesting material. John Elway. I'll watch that maybe. I'm not crazily interested in watching that. I've been paying attention to all these war games that have been happening around the world. Y'all should too. Something about Gavin Newsom and Willie D. Definitely has his own spin on things, and a lot of times he be on point. Sometimes, you know, oh, this look like a little reggae report, huh? I'll watch that later. They suggesting something new for me to check out here. Joe Budden, Shaquille O'Neal. He loves some cops, boy. Love some cops. Let's see what this shit is about.
Tonight, an NBA legend is helping another big man reach his dream. We told you about Jordan Wilmore, who wants to be a chemo police officer, but he is now facing obstacles to becoming the tallest cop in Texas. Troy Klesch shares how Shaquille O'Neal swooped in to help.
Kemah, Texas might be one of the last places you'd expect to see two men as big as this together.
I actually found out about him through jealousy. I thought I was the tallest, handsomest cop in the world.
After seeing him on Instagram, Shaquille O'Neal met Jordan Wilmore, a 24-year-old who is aspiring to work for the Kemah Police Department. After successfully completing the academy, he took his state peace officer exam.
I mean, I made a 69. You have to make at least a 70 to pass or above. First I was down, but then I'm like, you know, I'm still young. You know, you fail, you gotta get right back up. Can't be so quick just to quit.
Kemah Police Chief Raymond Garavay got a FaceTime call from Shaq where he told him about the news.
In my 34-year career, I've seen others fail, but
yo, so why his bitch ass couldn't just take the? See, this is the shit that's like, good for him, good for him. His non-passing ass gets to be a cop now, but Shaq ain't gonna call for everybody. Why? This nigga, he gonna be a cop now because he tall, so he doesn't have the competence, or at least he's one. And you know, the heart of me says, oh, you know, 1%, but the realist of me says, hey, take the test again. I took a real estate test and I passed that bitch on the first time, but if I failed it, wasn't nobody gonna call him and be like, hey, no, he's a good guy. He'll be good. Look, he's I don't know what they could say, because they don't say. this just shows you that the rules only apply to certain people. And so, you know, a lot of y'all follow, and I follow some rules to just stay out the fucking way, but some rules are unfollowable because you see that they don't apply to everybody. Okay, now if you gotta get a 70 to pass to be a cop, then you need to pass. And Shaq, you need to be tutoring the nigga instead of making calls like, oh no, let his failing ass through. I mean, he's only 1 point off. That ain't nothing. You can finish that, man. It's an app. If that dude emails me, I bet I can find an app to send him to study for the cop exam real quick, fast. But if you don't pass, like I'm in school right now, if I get a failing grade, they're not gonna say, oh, but he's a nice guy. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna make me take the class over again. So the rules, if you're gonna make rules for everybody, that's my problem with this. I ain't got no problem with Shaq. I ain't got no problem with the cop who failed. I just have a problem with people only enforcing the rules when it's convenient. Now here you got some cops. The number one, oh no, we abide by the law. But y'all break the law for when y'all want to break the law. And there's a whole nother stream about that, but that ain't what this about. So yeah, I'm off that already. I'm off that. I don't gotta hear nothing else. Sergeant. At ease, motherfucker. What's next? I just want to react to some videos while I got time. I still got to work tonight. But I want to see some of these headlines. Who's doing content? What is it about? How to erase your personal info from the internet for free. That's something to look at later. What else? What else we got here? California tried to destroy America. Let's see what this guy got to say.
If your headquarters are in San Francisco, you're just living in a woke bubble. It's not just that people, say in San Francisco, are drinking woke Kool-Aid. It is the water they swim in. Like if a fish doesn't think about the water, it's just in the water. And so if you're in San Francisco, you don't realize you're actually you're swimming in the Kool-Aid aquarium. San Francisco is the woke Kool-Aid aquarium. And so your reference point for what is a centrist is totally out of whack. Reddit is headquartered in San Francisco. Twitter was headquartered in San Francisco. I moved X's headquarters to Texas, to Austin, which Austin, by the way, is still quite liberal, as you know.
Yeah.
And then the X and XAI headquarters are in Palo Alto, which is still California. The engineering headquarters are in Palo Alto, just on Page Mill. But even Palo Alto is way more normal than San Francisco Berkeley. San Francisco Berkeley is extremely left, like left of left. You can't, like, you need a telescope to see the center from San Francisco.
It used to be such a great city.
I mean, San Francisco has a tremendous amount of inherent beauty, no question about that. And California has incredible weather, and no bugs. It's just like amazing, beautiful. But you say, like, what's the cause of this? It's just that if companies are headquartered in a location where the belief system is very far from what most people believe, then from their perspective, anything centrist is actually right wing, because they're so far left. They're so far from the center in San Francisco that anything they're just railed to maximum left. So that's why I think you're centrist. I mean, I think I'm centrist. But from the perspective of someone on the far left, we look right wing.
Yeah.
They think anyone who's a Republican is basically like some fascist Nazi situation.
But what's so crazy is like it's very easy to demonstrate just from like Hillary's speeches from 2008 and Obama's speeches, like when they were talking about immigration, like they were as far right as Steve Bannon when it comes to immigration.
Yes.
Hillary was like very MAGA.
I don't participate in these political conversations. I thought this video was going to be more about policy, which is, still political in a way, and maybe I'll continue listening to this a little bit because maybe they're just starting up slow, but they're starting up on the angle of left and right and central, and I feel like this is going to go in the direction of California is so Democrat that they tried to destroy America. And I thought they were going to speak more about, and I hope they still do speak about, the policies and how that might be affecting the country. But the left-right thing, I don't believe in. I believe that everybody who subscribes to the left-right thing is being misled and brainwashed, because at the end of the day, left and right both have to answer to the same people. None of these politicians, presidents, governors, mayors can get in power and do what they want. They are the people that won the popularity contest. And so now, since they won the popularity contest, they have proven that they'll be able to influence a large number of the constituency to not complain about the moves they make. I'll give you a quick example before we get back to this. I don't know, for those of you old enough to hopefully everybody that's watching this is old enough to remember the Barack Obama versus Hillary Clinton Democratic primary, whatever year that was, maybe 2016 or 2008. That was a long ass time ago, 2008 actually. And Barack's healthcare plan was like, nah, free healthcare for everybody. And Hillary's plan was mandatory health care for everybody, and you gotta pay for it, mandatory. Well, Obama won the primary, so how did the health plan that mandated a payment wind up as the party's platform? I thought we got rid of that. Obama won, so how did that become? How did the mandate survive? So that's what I mean, like, it's a popularity contest. So Obama won the popularity contest, so now Obama gets to shove the mandate down our throat. See, and that, saying something like that used to not be pause worthy at all, because everybody used to say, hey, you're putting this down, but now I have to find, that's what I mean. In 2026, I'm going to speak so inambiguous that nobody's going to be able to stray off of what I'm saying and have their gay thoughts and be like, ho, that was funny what you said. It was gay. No, it wasn't. You just thinking gay. You can't stop thinking gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Continue, Elon.
Have you ever...
Oh, wait. Shout out to my friend that's a lady named Elon. Beautiful, beautiful woman, Elon. But let's let this Elon continue to talk.
I'm sure you've seen that campaign speech, which she was talking about. If anybody's committed a crime, get rid of them. And if you're here, you pay a hefty fine and you have to wait in line. It was really crazy. It's crazy to listen to because it's like it's as MAGA as as Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen these videos people post online where they'll take like a speech from Obama or Hillary, and they'll interview people on like college campus or something and say, "What do you think of the speech by Trump?" And they're like, "Oh, I hate it. He's a racist bigot." I'm like, "Just kidding. That was Obama." No, actually, that was Obama or Hillary. To your point, like literally actually that was Obama or Hillary. To your point, like literally the Obama. No, actually that was Obama. No, actually Obama. No, actually that was
that motherfucker right there, bro. Yo, some shit I just can't react to, bro, because they just gonna cancel me. I'm just gonna get canceled for trying to react to certain shit, bro. Oh my god. What?
Obama or Hillary. Bigot. I'm like, just kidding. That was Obama.
I ain't the only one who rewound that.
No, actually, that was Obama.
Oh my god. Look at the line.
No, actually, that was Obama. He's a racist bigot. I'm like, just kidding. That was Obama.
I got enough. I had enough of this video. I don't even want to watch no more. I'm done. Wow. So Joe Rogan and Elon are on the right, and they're complaining about the policies put forth by the Democratic politicians. They would be right, because it's a lot of shit that's been put in place here that is absolutely ridiculous. They have, and I'm not even speaking from I could speak from a political standpoint. Oh, they've ruined the California tax base. Oh, this has become a state of immigrants. But you have to blame the. Well, see, that's the thing about this YouTube shit. You can't, you can laugh at shit, you can make fun of shit, but you can't be clear about shit. You can't. They'll want to ban me for the shit I want to say. I'm off you, Elon. Joe crazy laughing ass. I should have earmarked that one too. That sounds like something for a soundboard. What else we got? Anything? It's a whole thing about war, but I can't really cover it on YouTube. I don't think. Wasted funds. Let's check this one out, y'all. Suge Knight finally comes out the closet.
Well,
about Diddy killing Tupac.
I mean, that conversation been out there. He put his truth out there. A lot of other people put their truth out there. Me personally, if it wasn't already out there, I wouldn't have no comment on it. But since it's there, I'll tell you this. When I first paroled back in the day, I used to keep a box at the Staples Center. So I'm at the Laker game, fucking with a bitch here and there, got some bitches with me. I step out for a little fresh air. I see Keefy D. Keefy D was spooked. First thing he told me was it didn't have nothing to do with the killing of my homie Buncher. I responded to Keefy D and said, shit, if I thought that, I'd be on you already. And he said, but I'm going to give you something that's real true, and I didn't want to tell you because we've been knowing each other, since we was kids. So Keefy D was like, look, I need the money. Puffy and them supposed to gave me $1 million. They gave us most of the money or half of the money. And that's how everything unraveled for is what happened in Vegas. At that time, you know, I'm on parole. I look to the left, look to the right. The whole place is packed. So I'm like, I have to go take a piss. Let's have this conversation in the restroom. He was like, man, I ain't going in that restroom with you. And good thing he didn't, because even though we was friends, but if a motherfucker pays you to kill us, I got a bullet into my skull. And one of the best friends I had ever had in life is Pac. And he ain't here. I'm gonna beat the fuck out that nigga in that restroom. You know, my blood was boiling. Somebody used to always say, but at the same time, I am an intelligent, wise man and a businessman. Since I can't do nothing to him, I might as well get him to answer some questions. So I doubled back on him and said, what you mean? He said, well, look, Puffy used to come to the hood. He said, you can ask James. You know, him and James always been good friends. You know, James is the one who went through some things and been tampered with. But it's not about James getting tampered with. It's about the conversation Keefy D told me that what he told James. Guess they baby mamas was best friends. So Rat James, what Keefy D said, he told Rat James that, look, it's big money in this. Only thing Puffy want to do is pay $1 million to have both of them killed. He told me that. He said it was, according to him now, according to him, he said it was security that accepted money, participated in it. And it was so-called homies. So he laid it out to me in a way that he's spilling his guts to me, saying it wasn't just him, it wasn't just Puffy. He named names, he named people. And usually when people name names the way he was naming names, I believed him, because he wasn't talking just to be talking. I felt he was also coming straight, because there was a big war behind that. A war that they lost. And I think it was a war that destroyed their neighborhood. So that's being said, I know what I know from being there. I know what I know later on when people told lies or never told me the truth. I know that later on when I found out certain people was.
So now, I will first say that when I'm listening to this, there's two things that have been said in this audio that are inconsistent with life and with what Suge Knight said. The first thing, Suge Knight, and anybody who's been paying attention to this for the last, this has been 30 years now, knows that Suge always said he looked his killer in the eye and he knows who did it, and he wouldn't tell you, da-da-da-da-da. He's saying that he ran into Keefy D, and I'm gonna have to get the See, he said he saw who did it already. And now he's saying when Keefy D saw him, the first thing he was talking about was Buntry. But then he starts telling him, hey, that was us behind Tupac. Well, you were saying that you knew that already. For years, you've been saying you saw your killers. And so there shouldn't have been no revelation when you seen him that he did it. It shouldn't have been no revelation. You shouldn't have been. Anyway, let's continue. Maybe there's some. I ain't heard this before.
Suspect in assassination of Tupac, an attempted assassination on me. I know from conversations that if somebody was a suspect, one of the first things they should have did was told me. I know what Frank told me. I know what I had to go through to basically have the homies find Frank and pretty much kidnap Frank. I wouldn't use the word kidnap, but made Frank drive back to my house in Louisville just to have a conversation with me. I know that Frank also told me that the reason why he wasn't asking his phone or his walkie-talkie is because the head of security told him don't, and if he come back to the house, something's gonna happen to him. Beat up.
So Frank is, if I'm assuming, Frank Alexander, who was one of the death row bodyguards, and he was like Tupac's head bodyguard for a while. And Frank Alexander had did some interviews. You know, initially he was kind of alleging that Suge might have had something to do with it. Then he kind of backed off of that. And then when they say head of security, I'm assuming also that they must be talking about Reggie Wright Jr., who is a former Compton police officer. Just for people who, you know, they hear Frank and they hear head of security. Frank is Frank Alexander. Head of security, I'm assuming, was Reggie Wright, although it could have been Mac and the other dude from the Rampart scandal. Anyway, let's continue. It's almost over.
Maybe killed. So he said that's why he was avoiding this.
Hey, what's up? It's D-Monster, my man. Exclusive phone call with Suge Knight revealing that Keefy D told.
Okay, whoever that was had an annoying ass motherfucking voice. Damn. I have already proved to myself previously that I could talk a long ass time on this motherfucker all by myself. Alright, well, I'm off that. That's interesting, honestly. Just looking here and see if there's anything I want to watch before we go on break, yo. Yo, honestly, not today.
Happening now.
But I feel like I'm gonna wind up doing a deep dive about this airplane. Because I just know how to search stuff and how to find ulterior narratives and different pieces of information that make the official story unbelievable and unfathomable, right? We'll come back to this one on another day. I'm off that shit for right now, though. Let me see if there's anything else I want to look up here before we roll out. Speaking of Reggie Wright, Foxy Brown could be the key to Tupac's justice. All I want to say about that is I do feel like Corrupt knows some deep, dark shit about Tupac, and it has haunted him. And I don't know Corrupt. If I met Corrupt, I would want to have a conversation. I hope he's, an evolved ex-gang member and not, somebody who's not going to listen to logic and reason and have a conversation. But from the outside looking in, Corrupt looks like a shell of himself. He looks like a broken man who is hiding a lot of secrets, not about him, right? But a lot of secrets, and kind of drowns out some of his guilt through alcohol. That's what it looks like from the outside. I could totally be fucking wrong. But I bet Foxy Brown does have some info that could be useful in that investigation. Although Reggie Wright, bro, coming from you, it just makes it like, I don't know, bro. Let me see. 4 extra and Adam 22. Yo, I'm gonna come back to that because that's a whole nother hour about. Oh, that looks interesting. We'll do this for another day. Yo, this is Mean. This is the Jointz TV. This is Meanland. If you run across this stream later, like, subscribe. I'm gonna have to go back and edit out like the first 10 minutes of this. 10 or 20. Because I was... Look at this. East Bay Mall. Huh. One more story. This is another follow-up story of what we were watching earlier.
May have been exposed to measles in Walnut Creek. Officials say the infected person, now in quarantine, visited several stores at Broadway Plaza during the week of December 15th. Health officials are urging people to monitor for symptoms which can appear up to 3 weeks after exposure and to talk with a doctor about vaccination. Flu cases are on the rise amid holiday gatherings and the peak.
Yeah, I'm off that already. You gotta be like, you can't really go outside no more, man. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Trump vetoes funding for drinking water project in Colorado.
President Trump just used his first veto of his current term to kill a funding project for drinking water in Colorado. The bill passed Congress with unanimous bipartisan support. This veto comes as Trump has promised retaliation against Colorado for keeping his ally Tina Peters in prison for her scheme to tamper with voting systems. Trump's recently denied disaster funding to Colorado and is breaking up the NCAR Science Lab in Boulder. This pipeline project is in the district of Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who recently stood up to Trump to force the release of the government files on the infamous pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. Trump is now killing the bill to finish the Arkansas Valley Conduit, a decades-long project to bring safe drinking water to 39 communities on the eastern plains between Pueblo and Lamar. The groundwater there is high in salt, and wells sometimes unleash radioactivity into the water supply. This project was first approved by Congress in 1962. In recent years, the cost estimate nearly doubled. Trump's veto message called it a taxpayer handout, suggested it should be paid for locally. Colorado's Democratic senators have chipped away at the funding gap on this project for more than a decade. And Republican Congresswoman Boebert sponsored the House version of the bill to get it across the finish line. She told me tonight she hopes that this veto is not political retribution.
It does make you wonder, and I hope that's not the case. I've been told by the White House this is not retribution, but when it's the first of two bills that have been vetoed in this administration in just the first year of this administration, it kind of makes you want to step back and say, well, what's really going on here? But regardless, I was elected to serve Colorado's 4th District. This project stretches beyond the 4th District to constituents that I have served in the past and will continue to serve. And I will ensure that they get this access that they so desperately are needing.
The Senate and the House sent this bill to President Trump by voice vote, which suggests there could be wide margins to overturn the president's veto, but only if Republican leaders in the House and Senate will allow an override vote. Boebert said that she's already been in touch with Republican House Speaker Mike Johnson to figure out ways to pass this funding bill, either through a veto override or by rolling it into other legislation.
I had a drop mic moment. That's really interesting. So it was a unanimous bipartisan vote to approve it. He vetoes it, and now the Republicans are going to be afraid to override the veto. Yeah, when you rule with fear, some people only respond to fear, though. I was going to make a statement about how it's not best to rule with fear, but it's, the truth is some people only respond to fear. A lot of people be up in my face talking shit until I step to the challenge, and then they turn meek when they realize I'm about mine. But if I wouldn't have stood up for myself and been aggressive, they would have continued to attempt to abuse me. People be thinking they have you in a position where you can't defend yourself against what they doing. And then you show them, nah, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit you talking about. What's up, bitch? And then they be like, oh, I'm sorry. And they back the fuck down. That happens to me a lot. Anyway, I'm off that. Let me see, is there anything else I want to look at here before we wrap up? I'm going to watch this stream. I'm going to check my sound. I'm going to see what's going on. I've been on this screen, but I'm telling you right now, I don't think y'all ready for this shit we about to do. I'm back here. There's some more kinks I gotta work out with this sound. This is an audio first presentation, this Meanland. We're watching videos for the YouTube television aspect of this broadcast, but I'm careful to make sure this is an audio first production and that the sound is on point. So I'm gonna do that. There's some things about the graphics, there's noises that I need to eliminate. Some things I want you to hear, some things I don't want you to hear. So I gotta work on it. But this is my first and last stream of 2025. I covered a couple topics. Next stream is going to be better.